I'm trying to find the next big 100x plus meme coin that can have a huge run up like Shiba Inu did in the previous cycle.
Wow.
So how do we go about finding this? To start with, what I've been looking at recently today is the base chain meme coins, okay? So this on crypto rank right now, I filtered it so it's got the base chain meme coins that are listed on Coinbase, okay? So it brings up 6 coins here. Now obviously, for a coin to have a huge run up like Shiba Inu did, it needs to be listed on Coinbase, because Coinbase is the main exchange, right, in America or other the UK or Australia, where Coinbase is the most regulated exchange in most of these countries, right? So this is the easiest place for new retail to come in and buy these coins, right? If these coins are just listed on some random exchange like Mexi or CoinEx, there's more barriers to entry for them to buy from the exchanges, let alone if it's just on a DEX, So Coinbase is the main exchange that the normies buy from. In order for there to be a huge run up like Shiba Inu, it needs to be listed on Coinbase, right? And so the 6 coins that are listed on Coinbase on the base chain are currently Mogcoin, Fraser AI, Toshi, Degen, Dogemy, Keyboard Cat. And I was looking at this because I saw Keyboard Cat listed today. I saw this today, I don't know if it was listed today or yesterday or whatever, but that's been listed recently. And also Dogeme's been listed a few days ago. So it looks like Coinbase are listing the base chain meme coins now. So it's worth keeping an eye on this to see what's happening, because there could be something worth keeping an eye on. So based on these, I think Toshi's the best one, right? Because Mogcoin is technically not a base chain coin, it's actually an ETH coin, even though it's on base as well. It doesn't really count as a base coin because it's originally an ETH coin. This one here is an AI agent, so it's technically not really a meme coin, doesn't really count. So that leaves us with these 4, right? These 2 are just small niche ones, okay? And Degen, this was the first one that was actually listed on Coinbase, but this is more of a niche one as well, because only the Degens are going to buy this, right? This one here, this is a narrative that the normies can kind of understand, right? If they know that Toshi's the pet cat of the founder of Coinbase, they can understand the narrative, and the new retail people that come in can pump it, right? They can understand that narrative, whereas just the Degens are going to buy the Degen token. So Toshi is the most likely to be the king of the base chain when we get a big altcoin season, right? So that's why I'm holding Toshi. Another good one is also Brett, right, which isn't on Coinbase yet, and it's actually a bigger market cap than Toshi at about 300 million. But I think the reason that Coinbase are not listing it is because if you come over onto the wallet distribution for Brett, there's this big cluster of wallets here, right? And one of these wallets is Crash Trading, which is a kid on YouTube that basically holds a huge amount of the supply of Brett, right? And it's pretty much an insider in Brett. So it looks like all of these are insiders. So Coinbase can obviously see this, but they can blatantly see this, and Coinbase are probably thinking, oh no, we can't buy this, because then all the insiders are just going to rug it, right? So that's why Coinbase probably aren't going to list this yet. But maybe this changes down the road, maybe these guys sell off or something, or maybe Coinbase just do list it anyway. Who knows exactly what's going to happen, but I think that this is probably putting off Coinbase from listing, right? So that's why I don't know about Brett. But Brett is obviously a really good narrative, because you've got Pepe on ETH, which is a really good meme coin, and base chain is the biggest layer 2 for Ethereum, okay? And Brett is Pepe's best friend, right? So the narrative makes a lot of sense. So this is another potential one that could happen, right? So far for me, it's either out of Toshi or Brett that can remain the king of the base chain and have a huge run up based on the base chain narrative blowing up, right? But that's why, based on what I just showed you, that's why I'm leaning towards Toshi and not Brett, okay? And also Toshi's the lower market cap than Brett, so there's more upside there too. And yeah, it's worth keeping an eye on other coins that come out. So on crypto rank right now, if you can change the filters here, so you can change what blockchain you're looking at. Just go into the base chain category, you click meme coin. So let's look at the ones that are not listed on Coinbase. So right here next to Keyboard Cat that was listed on Coinbase, we've got Mr. Miggles, Base NG, Ski Mask, Dog, MAGA or whatever. There's a lot that could be the next one that comes on. There might even be a better meme coin than Toshi or Brett that comes out soon, If altcoin season comes around and base chain becomes like a really hot narrative again, then there could be one meme coin that could blow up and be the king of base, right? Because obviously base chain's a really good narrative because it's the biggest layer 2 on Ethereum. So it's obviously a huge narrative. And the crypto market will become bullish sooner or later. Because if you think of it like this, crypto as a whole is still very early. The stock market has been going for hundreds of years, and Bitcoin only launched 16 years ago, let alone altcoins. They're not even as old as Bitcoin, right? And the current market cap for crypto is $2.6 trillion, okay? And the current market cap for stocks is well over 100 trillion. So there's obviously a lot of growth left in the tank for crypto, okay? So this is going to move bullish at some point, whether it's now or whether there's a lot of chop for even years to come, who knows? But eventually there's going to be pumps, and I still do believe the 2025 is probably going to have another big leg up, right? So when we look at the Bitcoin chart right now, I've been looking at this big broadening wedge starting from the bottom of the bear market, right? So I've got a trend line with all the tops and the bottoms forming a broadening wedge, and this technically being a bearish pattern is probably going to break to the downside eventually, right? But sometimes these do break to the upside. It's actually more like a 50-50, but it's slightly on the bearish side in percentage wise. So what I think is going to happen now is we move in this blue box here kind of sideways, right? And we're going to come over towards this yellow line at the bottom of the broadening wedge pattern, and then we're probably going to move up from there. That's what I think, okay? And then I think we're going to break the resistance of the previous all-time high, and we're going to come up to this resistance again with the blue trend line, which is the top of the previous bull markets. I think we're going to come up to test that again, and maybe in this zone here, around here, after we break the previous all-time high and in this trend line, this might be a profit taking zone, okay? Because I think it will go above this, but this might be another high risk zone that you might want to look to take some profits in. So I think we'll blow past the previous all-time high, we'll come up to this blue line, and then I think we probably will break through that and then come up to the yellow line, right? And I think this is going to be the top of the cycle, around 140, 150k, something like that, something in there. But all of this green box here is going to be a profit taking zone for me, right? And if we come over to the Bitcoin dominance chart, okay, in the previous bull run, the Bitcoin dominance was all the way up at 70% before it had a huge crash and altcoin season began, okay? So now we're following up on this trend line here. We did break beneath it a little bit briefly, but we came back up obviously recently. So I think we can continue up this trend line, and then we can get back up to around 70% again before Bitcoin dominance crashes, and then altcoin season will be in this green zone down here, almost pretty much where it was before, down here, right? So that's what I think is going to happen in 2025, or perhaps even a little bit in 2026 maybe. But who knows, it could take longer, right? We're becoming a little bit more coupled with the stock market now, so maybe it can happen over a little bit more of a stretched time horizon. Another coin that I think could have a Shiba Inu like run in the bull run is CZ's dog broccoli. So I bought this the other day before the Binance listing, and it did pump, but it sold off pretty fast just because obviously the bearish sentiment in the market. So normally when you're in a bull market, something gets listed on Binance and Coinbase and it explodes, right? But obviously now the sentiment's quite bearish, so something gets listed and then everybody just sells off. But when the bull run continues again, this is still going to be good because Binance is obviously a huge exchange as well. So yeah, this could be king of the base chain meme coins, and it could have a huge run up like Shiba Inu, maybe. But the most likely coin that I think can follow in Shiba Inu's footsteps is Bonk. And I just made a video about Bonk the other day, so I'll attach this video here. Let me know your favourite meme coins down in the comments. Please drop a like for the algorithm and consider subscribing to keep up with my future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.